Hi there, thank you so much for being here. Welcome. My name is Caro. In case you're new here in this channel, I share a lot about my art practice, my life as a full-time artist, my always deepening connection to nature, and just curiosity of creativity, our natural world, community, and all things art. Today I wanted to sit down and share with you a little bit some questions, thoughts, and just philosophizing about life, existential questions I've been asking myself. And all of this has rooted in change of numbers within my YouTube channel and my online presence in general around the years 2018 and 2020. The views of my channel were high in comparison to what they are nowadays. And for the last 2 years or so, I've been asking myself, why am I even showing up online? And just navigating a lot of questions related to validation and being accepted and imposter syndrome. And I just thought I would share them here with you because I've been chatting with a lot of artist friends that, just like myself, have seen a big change in their views, their numbers, their engagement, the amount of people their content and art is reaching. And I wanted to share this because I feel, for me, this has awoken a lot of questions that are bringing a level of freedom into my art and into the way that I show up online. So I don't know about you. I don't know if you personally share online, whether that is videos, your art, your words, your thoughts, or you're just sharing with your friends, or maybe you're just here loving what other people are sharing online. But I know that for a lot of us that are putting ourselves out there and sharing our art, our hearts, and things that feel very personal to us, and at the same time putting all these love and effort and work into creating videos or storytelling in any sort that we can create online, it can be such a vulnerable place to come and create something or share something that is very deeply personal to you, and then putting it out in the world and seeing how your creation will be taken once it comes out of your own personal world and into the outer world. The online world has been so beautiful to me. I know a lot of us can talk about the toxicity of being in social media and being online, and I have so much to say about that. But within the online space, I've also found so much beauty whenever I'm feeling a little down or seeking some inspiration. I love connecting to what other folks are creating out there, whether that is here on YouTube, sharing videos, on Instagram, looking at artwork, on Minds, reading people's ideas, or wherever that is in the online world. And I've also made beautiful friendships online. Some of them have stayed in the online world. Some of them have been people that I ended up meeting in person and that we became longtime friends. And there's just so much beauty and so much to say within the online world, including opportunities as an artist and having your work be just arrive to way more people than it would have if we would only be sharing in person, right? And this has brought a lot of opportunities to have my work be connected and be part of the life of other people's. A lot of you who have at some point connected to my work, whether that is seeing it online or watching a video or buying one of my prints or coming to one of my gatherings. I cannot thank you enough, because thanks to the internet, I've been able to make my life as a full-time artist something that thrives and something that I have been able to keep up until today. The fact that I have a room like this one in my home that I dedicate to my art is thanks to everyone that is in one way or the other supporting my work. And a lot of that is thanks to the internet. And within these last 2 years of just seeing the number of people that are connecting to my work, that are seeing it, that are commenting on it, even that are buying it or coming to my gatherings, etc., has definitely decreased compared to previous years. And this, I'm not gonna lie, honestly, this has brought a lot of questions within myself of just if I have anything of value to share with others. It's made me ask if my art and my videos are worth sharing, if it's worth to put the time, the effort, the love, and just el corazoncito, como the love that I truly put into creating these pieces of storytelling out in the world. If it's worth trying to, share my art and trying to make it arrive to more people's eyes and lives. And the reason why I wanted to share this video is that asking myself all those questions has been honestly very freeing, because yes, it's brought a lot of imposter syndrome. It's also made me realize that at some points more than others, I've been putting my validation as an artist and as a human being in the numbers and the analytics and the audience growth and all of that. But it's also made me ask myself a lot of questions regarding whether I would be sharing what I share, if my content and my art would be going viral, or if no one would be seeing it. I actually started this YouTube video because I was looking for another creative outlet that was not painting, and I decided I would try and learn how to edit videos. And I was not expecting people to see the first video that I put out there. I just uploaded it because I thought it would be like my own visual diary that I kept for myself online. And just asking myself all these questions is bringing back that energy of like, I want to share, whether it's 100,000 people or 1,000,000 people watching what I'm doing, or if it's just me putting this out in the world and no one is seeing it. So it's really made me ask myself if I am creating for the sakes of creativity, for the sakes of enjoying, for the sakes of learning new creative outlets and tools, or if this is more related to validation and for an external purpose rather than just sharing and creating for the sakes of sharing and creating. So just asking myself that has made me become a little bit more clear on why I do what I do. And before we continue with this video, I just wanted to take a few moments of our time to say thank you so much to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Squarespace has been the virtual home of my website, art portfolio, email campaigns, member areas, web shop, and so much more since 2018, and I cannot recommend them enough. Squarespace lets you offer services and get paid all in one place. Create a custom website to promote your business, book appointments, send emails, and accept payments with branded invoices. Squarespace and I are partnering up to offer you a 2-week free trial, and once you are ready to launch, you can use the code Caro Arevalo to get 10% of your first purchase of a website or domain with them. And now let's go back to our art vlog. And in case you are someone that is relating to the internet in the ways of you sharing your own art, your words, your creations, your storytelling, and you want to put it out there because you want to put it out there, it's beautiful to remember that we can keep creating in our own personal ways, in the ways that it relates to us. I know that a lot of people up until today, even people that are not like marketing strategists or that have never done a YouTube channel, keep telling me like, Caro, maybe your videos need a hook, maybe you could do this formula, maybe they could be shorter, maybe you could dance like people do on TikTok. Like, yeah, open a TikTok and start dancing. This will bring people into your artwork. Like, there are so many cookie cutter ways of creating and going viral online nowadays, but I personally, those just don't resonate with me. And I feel that using these tools in order to share for the sakes of sharing, or to just, it might resonate with someone in the other corner of the world, and that's great. I believe that sharing our arts can be a way of remembering that it's all about being exactly who you are and learning how you like to share instead of what works in the cookie cutter reality of sorts. And just asking myself all these questions, I've come once again to the realization that we can all share our arts and our creativity and our videos and our storytelling without checking demographics, audience insights, comparison in between one video and the other, or one art piece and the other, and not creating to satisfy the eyes of the observer or the consumer. Because as Rick Rubin says in The Creative Act, once we start catering to the audience, we lose the essence of our work. And I know that a lot of us, and I include myself, are trying to make meets end. We're trying to pay rent. We're trying to put food in our kitchens and our tables. And I honestly believe that our own personalities and ways of being and what feels very authentic to ourselves is way more relevant, and it can really help us connect to others more than the cookie cutter version. And I'm just feeling so excited because asking myself all of these last year or so has been so helpful to remember that I want to share because I want to share, and I want to do it without worrying about the audience and the demographics and the YouTube insights and the percentages and the number of views. And something that's been very helpful for that is for me to remember that all of those things are related to consumerism, and they are related to capitalism, and they are related to the internet world seeing us artists as products. And my life love couldn't be further away from that. So it's just felt very liberating to just ask myself once again, and that's why I wanted to share this video as an opportunity to, if you are navigating, seeing that less people are interacting with your comment, or your creation is arriving to less people, the algorithm is not your friend and it's not helping you reach more people or more accounts, I think it's good to ask ourselves and do that exercise of like, am I here? Am I sharing because I have a love for sharing, and this is sharing for the sake of sharing. I want to create this piece of art. I want to create this piece of content, no matter if anybody else is on the other side. And I do it for the sake of doing it and for myself. And if it arrives to others and it resonates, that's great. But why am I even doing these in the first place? And I know that my objective is not to satisfy the algorithm, which I don't even know who that is, I would rather satisfy my creative heart and this bubbling feelings that I have within, and the curiosity of keep creating art in the way that feels exciting, feels natural, feels true to you as a creator of any sorts. And just to finish that idea, all of these numbers and insights and audience and demographics are related to consumerism, and they are related to making money rather than being connected to, they're just connected to profit instead of being connected to heartfelt connection. And that being said, when December of last year came, I realized that I wasn't really loving doing influencer content. So that's why for the last 2 years before 2025, I was working with an influencer agency that I absolutely adored. I have only great things to say about this agency because they're an agency that would only work with influencers, to call us something, and brands that have their heart in wellness and spirituality and making good for Earth and living in a reciprocal way with Earth. But I just didn't want to make any influencer content for 2025. So I reached out to this marketing agency that I was working with. I reached out back in December to say, I'm not going to be working with you in 2025 because I don't want to do influencer content and all the effort that I'm putting there. I want to rather focus in creating more in-person gatherings this year and just meeting one-on-one with people and meeting in person and sharing watercolors and it's felt like such a good change of direction, even though every single brand that I've ever partnered with is a brand that I truly, absolutely adore. I soon want to make like a story time, I don't know if here or in Instagram, sharing whenever I have been reached out by brands that don't resonate, whether because of their ethos or the materials that they use, like plastic or whatever, I just don't partner with them because they are not true to who I am as a human being. So just wanted to put that out there. I've never partnered with a brand that does not feel aligned to my ethos and my ethics and my morals as a human being. And I've actually said no to a lot of money because I didn't want to partner up with the biggest plastic polluter in the world and brands that are just doing so wrong for Earth. But that is a conversation for another time. It's something that I want to share sometime very soon. But all of that just to say that even sharing online is always that opportunity to shift how we share and what we share. The first video that I shared this year was me sharing like, yeah, last year me and my husband realized he didn't want to be in my videos anymore, and I wanted to keep my private life a little bit more private and share a little bit more of my art and a little bit less of our life as a couple. And I know that if God permits me to be a mom one day, I don't want to share my kids online. So, I think it's beautiful that we can try things and then we can say, this doesn't resonate, let's change the way that we're doing stuff. And I think that's the beauty and the freedom that we have as our own judges of what we share and what we don't share. And a couple of last things that I want to share are that I think it's also so interesting to have imposter syndrome feelings, because whenever I feel imposter syndrome or I feel that my work is not good enough, it's not only related to the numbers of how many people are interacting with my content or the views or the likes, but rather feeling that I don't know enough in order to share about a specific topic, whether that is my art or anything else. And I think that asking ourselves that question of where is this imposter syndrome coming from can be a great barometer for us to learn, like, I have so much more to learn about being an artist and painting plants and doing botanical illustrations. So imposter syndrome can be a beautiful measurement to be like, I'm actually not the best at doing these. So it can be a great invitation for us to learn more and get better at our craft. And that's something that I don't take for granted. I'm always taking classes on how to paint, watercolors, botanical illustrations, and I'm also always learning how to edit videos. Like, I have now this amazing camera and I know like 3% of how to use it. So I'm always online learning how to make the best out of these powerhouse of a camera that I have. So I think imposter syndrome can be great to help us get inspired to get better at our craft. But I think it's also a barometer of like, is this related to external validation or what is it related to? Pretty much everything that I've shared on this video. And the last thing that I wanted to share with you regarding this topic that I've been just existentially thinking about is, I started this video saying that back in the day, a few of my videos went viral and I had so much more views. That's also made me ask myself if whether I am interested on going viral, on whether I care about being super famous and having, the algorithm boost my content and whatnot, or if that's something that I have said yes to because that's something that society is telling me I should be interested in. I love the book The Little Prince, El Principito, and one of the quotes that I love about the book is when the little prince says, everything in my planet is so small. El Principito, the little prince, has this very small planet, and within his planet he has his flower, a crate, I don't know how to say crater in English, and a baobab tree. And himself. That's everything that he has in his planet. And within the book, he just shares how beautiful his planet is. He doesn't need a valley full of roses, and that doesn't make a valley full of roses more valuable for him. He loves his small planet with all the little things it has, and there's nothing as special as that for him. So that always reminds me of, do I actually want to have my work go viral, or is this something that I'm thinking I want because society is saying that's what we should all want? And within the years, I'm realizing what I want is a very simple life, and what I aim to have is a life where I feel happy and content with very little. And maybe I don't need to go viral and be a famous artist, but rather have the real success in life be having time to paint and have time to nurture friendships and love and connection to nature. So I'm gonna leave you with that. I would love to hear your thoughts on imposter syndrome, and if you share things online, how, if you've ever felt this way, and if you have, how are you navigating, or how have you navigated that in the past? Because if there is one thing that I would love these online space that I share in to be, is a space where we can all interchange our ideas and learn from one another and get inspired from one another, just for the sake of being who we are and doing what we do. So thank you once again for being here. I hope you enjoyed this video, that I feel it's a little different from what I share, because I'm usually sharing more about my life as a full-time artist and what I've been doing in the studio and creativity and good thing energy sorts of topics. But this is something that, as someone that shares online, has been feeling very true to me and that I have been navigating. And I feel there's nothing wrong in feeling imposter syndrome, or realizing that we have put our validation in the external world, and have that be an invitation for us to remember that the only validation that matters is the one that is coming from ourselves, and the one where we feel at peace with who we are and what we do in the world. So anyways, thank you for being here. If you like what I share here, feel free to give this video a like, or share it with someone you love, or subscribe to this channel if you want to see more stuff like this. And lastly, thank you once again, Squarespace, for sponsoring today's video. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you here some other time, sharing for the sakes of sharing. Bye everybody, be well.